February 8, 2023. A quiet morning in rural Kentucky. In a small mobile home park, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. No screams, no alarms, no signs of chaos. Then a phone call came in to emergency services. The caller was a mother. She calmly told the dispatcher that her 2 children were dead. When police arrived, what they discovered would leave an entire community, and the nation, stunned. 2 young children had been shot and killed inside their own home. And the person responsible, investigators would soon learn, was the one person they trusted most. Stay with me till the end, and don't forget to subscribe. Tiffanie Lucas lived in Bullitt County, Kentucky. She was a single mother raising 2 children on her own, a 9-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. To neighbors and acquaintances, Tiffanie appeared quiet and reserved. She wasn't known for causing trouble. There were no frequent police visits to her home. No public signs of violence or instability. Like many single parents, she faced daily pressures, financial strain, emotional exhaustion, the constant responsibility of caring for children without consistent support. Friends later described her as overwhelmed, but not dangerous. There were no public records showing prior violent behavior. No restraining orders. No known history of child abuse. From the outside, the family looked ordinary. But behind closed doors, something was clearly unraveling. On the morning of February 8, Tiffanie Lucas made a decision that would forever change countless lives. According to investigators, the children were inside the mobile home, each in their own bed. There was no sign of a struggle. No evidence that they tried to run or escape. At some point that morning, Tiffanie used a firearm and shot both of her children. The shots were fatal. Afterward, instead of fleeing the scene, she picked up the phone and called police herself. What shocked dispatchers and officers alike was her demeanor. She was calm, cooperative, almost emotionless. When deputies arrived, they found exactly what she had described. 2 children were dead. And their mother was waiting. Inside the mobile home, police found a quiet, haunting scene. The children were still in their beds. No signs of forced entry. No indication that anyone else had been there. The firearm used in the killings was located inside the home. There were no defensive wounds. No overturned furniture. No evidence of chaos. Everything suggested that this was not a crime of panic, but one of intention. For seasoned investigators, the evidence pointed clearly in one direction. This was not an intruder. This was not an accident. This was a deliberate act. Authorities quickly secured the scene and began their investigation. They interviewed neighbors. They checked security footage in the area. They reconstructed the timeline. No one reported hearing gunshots. No suspicious vehicles were seen. No strangers were reported near the home. Tiffanie Lucas did not attempt to deny what happened. She was taken into custody without resistance. Investigators later stated that the case was tragically clear, one of the most straightforward yet emotionally devastating cases they had ever worked. But clarity did not make it easier to understand. The question everyone asked was simple. Why? She was charged with 2 counts of murder for the deaths of her children. Due to the severity of the crime and the overwhelming evidence, prosecutors moved quickly. A judge denied her bond, meaning she would remain in custody while awaiting trial. The courtroom atmosphere during her first appearance was heavy. Parents in the community struggled to comprehend how someone could harm their own children. Prosecutors described the crime as unimaginable and one of the most horrific acts a person can commit. Almost immediately, the case sparked widespread debate about mental health. Was Tiffanie Lucas suffering from an untreated mental illness? Were there warning signs that were missed? Could this tragedy have been prevented? While officials did not release detailed medical information, court documents indicated that her mental state would be a significant factor in the legal proceedings. Mental health evaluations were ordered. Experts emphasized that extreme acts of violence like this often involve a complex mix of psychological distress, emotional collapse, and untreated conditions. However, mental illness alone does not explain everything, and it does not erase responsibility. The legal system would still have to determine accountability. The Bullitt County community was devastated. Schools offered counseling services. Churches held prayer vigils. Neighbors placed flowers and stuffed animals near the home. Parents hugged their children a little tighter. Many struggled with anger, not just sadness. How could a mother do this? Became the most repeated question online and in local conversations. Social media reactions were intense. Some demanded harsh punishment. Others called for compassion and better mental health support. The case forced people to confront a painful truth: sometimes danger does not come from strangers. It comes from within the home. As the case moved forward, prosecutors built a case based on physical evidence, eyewitness statements, and Tiffany's own actions. Because she had called police herself and remained at the scene, there was little doubt about who committed the crime. Legal experts explained that even if mental illness played a role, an insanity defense would require proving that she did not understand the nature or wrongfulness of her actions at the time. This is a high legal standard, and rarely successful. The case was not about whether the crime happened. It was about responsibility, intent, and sentencing. Crimes involving children always hit differently. Crimes involving parents are even harder to process. Children depend entirely on their caregivers for safety, protection, and love. When that bond is broken in such a violent way, it shakes society at its core. The Tiffanie Lucas case is not just about murder. It is about isolation. About untreated mental health struggles. About the invisible pressure many parents carry in silence. And about how quickly everything can collapse when support systems fail. Could this have been prevented? This is the question that lingers. Were there signs that no one noticed? Was help available but unreachable? Did stigma prevent her from seeking treatment? Experts say prevention requires early intervention, accessible mental health care, and strong community support. Especially for single parents under extreme stress. But prevention is never guaranteed. And that reality is one of the hardest parts to accept. At the center of this case are two innocent children. Their lives were cut short before they ever had a chance to grow up, dream, or choose their own paths. They were students, friends, sons and daughters. They are more than names in a headline. They are the true victims. And they deserve to be remembered for who they were, not just how they died. The Tiffanie Lucas case is one of the most disturbing true crime stories in recent American history. Not because it was complicated, but because it was heartbreakingly simple. A mother, two children, one irreversible decision. As the legal process continues, justice will be decided in a courtroom. But no verdict can undo what was lost. This case leaves us with difficult questions about mental health, responsibility, and how society can better protect its most vulnerable. If you found this case informative, please like the video to help more people see it. Subscribe for more in-depth true crime documentaries. And comment below. Do you believe tragedies like this can be prevented, or are some warning signs impossible to see? Because every victim deserves to be remembered.